he did with Stassar and Livingston. So they were like, anyways, and that was out in Hawaii. But he was my roommate, or my tent mate, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, that was interesting, living in those tents for 5 months. Everyone had like, it was so funny, like everyone had like their porch built with their poncho liner, or not with their poncho. Like Gurky had his half, I had my half. Like this is pretty funny. But like during the summer and stuff, we didn't even sleep in the tent because it was so hot. We just laid out underneath the thing. We didn't have cots or anything. Then like for like the last month or month and a half or whatever, we ended up getting CBs, or maybe it was even longer. It could have been 2 months, whatever.
You CBs, what was that?
The Navy's one of those brain farts. They're construction boys, but they I don't know what. They came out and they built us some little screened in buildings. Like there was no real walls. It was just like screens to keep the flies out, really. And that was another thing, is like the flies were horrific over there. One thing I really love about the United States is the low amount of flies. Like you'd fall asleep and there'd be flies crawling on your mouth, in your nostrils, and you couldn't get away from them. Like just bad. But anyways,
other than the flies, were like any other like mosquitoes, bugs, ticks?
The mosquitoes weren't bad unless you were around like something swampy. That wasn't it. It was just the flies. Like anyone who's like spent time there in the summer, outdoors wise or whatever, will tell you about the flies. Like it was bad. Like it's not bad when you've got AC. Like, but we didn't have any AC for the whole first deployment. There was no such thing as air conditioning. Like you laid out and panted like a dog and drank gallons of water a day, and that water was at room temperature, which was 120 degrees. Like,
so it was like drinking out of the bathroom faucet on hot water or something?
Yeah, just like that. And that's why even to this day, like I have ice in everything that I drink, like except like milk and coffee and stuff like that. But if it's a glass of water, yeah, I'm gonna definitely try and get some ice in there. Like, and I think that's what it's from too, is like ever since that, like drinking that hot water just to keep yourself hydrated was just miserable. I fell asleep on post once, and it was for like a minute, and that could be exaggerating. It could have been anywhere from a minute to 3 minutes, but it was there was a lay down post where you laid behind a 240, and it was like the graveyard shift, like the worst one, like 3 in the morning, and I gotta be awake from like midnight to 4 or something like that, and it was right at it was right during post relief, and I'm laying behind this thing and I'm just dying, and I can hear the next post over is getting relieved, and I'm hearing it on the radio. We've got our little radios on, and I can hear it, and they're like, all right, SOG is moving to post 4 or whatever it was, and that was me. I was like, oh, finally. Next thing I know, like I must have been like, oh, finally, and like boom, next thing I know, I hear, is that fucking right? And it's my squad leader, Corporal Delfield. He had crawled up the ladder because I was on the rooftop of this low 1-story building that could see over the wall and down to MSR and stuff. But I'm behind this 240, and I was out, and I was like, oh, because I'm one of those guys that's not going to be like, I wasn't sleeping. I was just like, fuck. Like, I'm busted. So they relieved me, and then I definitely paid for it after that. I got to carry a sandbag around for a week, and he was my buddy.
Oh, but they handle it in-house, huh?
Yeah, it was definitely, it was all handled within house.
So it didn't go anywhere beyond Corporal Delfield.
No, yeah, it was all covered. Like,
you could have easily been like
in trouble.
got office hours and been busted back
Yeah.
down private or something.
Yeah, but it was definitely taken care of. I earned it that night. I earned it. But yeah, that never happened again. Even after that, there was times that, oh yeah, they got rid of that post, by the way, because there was several Marines that had happened to, because it was just it was a lay down post in the middle of the night when they're working us as hard as they were. Like,